and good afternoon, everyone. For the past few weeks, I have been silent about all the issues that I have been facing. But this is my side of the story. I have stated in my manifestation that I respect the court, but I would also want to follow what the Constitution clearly states. The Article 18, Section 2 of the USG Constitution states that the judiciary shall be composed of 5 magistrates and 1 chief magistrate. However, there were only 2 magistrates during that time. I do not undermine the capacity of these magistrates, but their procedures are clearly not in compliance with the Constitution. I have always asked, how can 2 magistrates decide on such gravity when 1, they do not have a chief magistrate yet, and 2, in the event of a split decision, a tiebreaker is not inexistent. My request was not for the delay of the hearing, but rather for a fair trial. While Mr. Sagon thinks that he may have the right to file such complaint, such exercise of right, however, must not be done in bad faith or motivated by malice or ill will. The LaSalle Exchange Scholarship Grant was neither a failure nor a fraud. Almost everyone who won and asked for his or her grant was able to get it, except for Mr. Sagon, whose other half of the grant was delayed due to reasons that were beyond the control of any officer. But then again, we tried our best to hasten the process so that it would be given to him real soon. I personally went out of my way and offered my personal money to Mr. Sagon. It was the remedy I thought of at that very moment. It is not in my character to turn my back on any of the students I serve. However, there's only so little that I can do, but I'll do it anyway. The said project was in its first year of implementation. It was not in our expectations that it would be perfectly efficient. The system and structure needed for LESG was something that couldn't be patterned with existing scholarship grants, mainly because its nature is international exchange programs. However, we still pursue the project because of the desire that it will give an aid to the students. In my service in the university, I have never seen a project that did not have delays or hurdles. It is inevitable to have room for improvements, simply because everything that we do here in the university is all about formation and development. Those 2 words, formation and development, were the very words that inspired me to serve. I have always believed that college is a formative moment for a person's life, and learning is not limited to the classroom alone. Thus, in my pursuit of excellence, I have felt that the university student government is an avenue for me to be formed and developed as a person. 3 years. 3 meaningful years was the length of time I have spent with the USG. Basically, it's my whole college life. Seeing that what I am doing inside the university is all about formation and development, I considered my job as an officer more than just an extracurricular. Service was something I realized that I was born for. This is the reason why I never got tired of service. Last Friday, I posted a status that says, "Growing up, I believe in myself, and I knew that I wanted to contribute something to the world around me. But I was scared that people wouldn't approve of my work and would criticize me when I started sharing the things I cared about or believed in. I may not be able to please everyone, but it should never stop me or anyone in living a life lived for others." And I meant it. For me, that was service. The principle of service above self has always inspired me to act on my purpose to be a public servant. Each and every day, I fell in love with my job of serving the students. I have grown so much in the university. Furthermore, I utilized my role as a student leader to help others grow. From then on, I saw that formation and development is a mutual responsibility that we have as one LaSalle community. However, I asked, why does someone have to be sorry for service? The timing of the issue was very suspicious and questionable. It was filed in the middle of elections when I was running for the USG president. It was also during that time when I gave Mr. Sagon the benefit of a doubt. That's why even then at that moment, I was reaching out to him. It was not very long until the issue was published online. One thing that surprised me the most was the fact that the publishing of the article was then followed by an effort of a professional organization and its officers to diligently share it. Later on, the Facebook thread of the article was filled with comments full of criticisms, and most of them were from fake accounts. That was the hype of the election. It was a few days before voting. I was wondering why everything was well orchestrated, and the timing was perfect. Perfect for a demolition job. Happenings like this can be commonly seen in the arena of Philippine politics. However, I was saddened by the fact that dirty politics found its way in the hallowed grounds of this university and in the heart of its studentry. Just when I thought that the special elections would be about efforts to regain the trust of the students and share to them well-thought platforms, I was wrong. It has been about well-orchestrated political moves. Back then, all I wanted was to share my passion to the students. Share to them a vision of renewed LaSalle governance. And a vision that is about the student government going back to the heart of its purpose. I have envisioned a year where service will not be influenced by politics, but their purpose and values. It was when the officers serve everyone regardless of their political affiliation or beliefs. It was when opportunities are relevant and accessible. And lastly, it is when the student government aims to guide the students towards being purpose-driven LaSallians. However, dirty politics made that impossible for me. Despite all these, I have one appeal to the student body. Absent the biases or partiality and political machinations, I encourage you not to lose trust in the university student government. Officers who are genuine and true to their duty and service are still in existence. Even though I was placed in a position where I was questioned, where I was humiliated, where I experienced what it was like to be attacked by some misguided and misinformed people who I wanted to serve. Yet I still believe in the USG as an institution. I still believe in its purpose and its relevance to the student body. I hope that every one of you will continue to trust and believe. Eventually, I realized that it was more important to contribute to something to the world than it was to protect myself from bashings and criticisms. This is why I will never get tired of serving. Much has been said. People already had their conclusion. Damages have been done. I know that this time, I could not ask for a fair trial in the USG anymore. Much worse, I could not ask for a chance to share my platform once again in a fair and clean election. What I would do is what most people would. Try to move on and to let go.
But then again, as a citizen of this country, there's something that I could see. And that is justice. Thank you.